clouds. I want you guys to watch this first and then paint it. And the reason is because if you try to follow along with me, you're not gonna be able to paint fast enough and you won't be able to get the cloud effect. So watch it first and then you'll do it. You'll take your larger brush after you're done watching and you'll fill the area with water. So this is very similar to yesterday. Well, not yesterday, our yesterday, so 2 classes ago, when we did the wet on wet wash. You'll pick any blue. You could pick purple too if you wanted. Again, the more you rub your pigment, the more pigment comes off on your brush. And you'll just apply that blue, but you want to do it quickly. That's why you guys aren't doing it with me, because if you don't go quick enough, the blue is going to soak into your paper just like a stain would, and then you won't be able to get it out. You're going to take that paper towel that you wadded it up. You're going to kind of wad it up into whatever cloud shape you want, and then you're going to dab it on there, but firmly. So press and hold for a second, lift your paper towel up, and then where that area is dirty, you're just going to wad it into a clean spot, press and hold firmly. Again, wad it up to a clean area, press and hold firmly. So that's one cloud. I'm going to add another little cloud so that cloud's not lonely. And we'll add another little tiny cloud below it. Everybody's clouds are going to look different. That's a good thing. So go ahead and give that a try. Again, your steps are get the whole area wet first with just water. Then you're welcome to pick out a blue, or if you want to pick out a darker color, purple, you could even use black. Got a couple different dark purples there. I probably would not use like red or brown or green or yellow, but either the darker, cooler colors. Then after you've got your color applied, press and hold evenly with your paper towel. And then wad it up again to a clean spot, press it again. Let's do a sunset or a sunrise. We're going to be working with a variety of colors. So before we get started, just double check your paints. Make sure that they're all cleaned out. So if your yellow's dirty at all, go ahead and wipe it out. Check on your orange, your red, your blues. If you're missing a color and you're not happy with the paint set you have, you're more than welcome to put the paint set you have in the green trays to be sanitized, and then grab a sanitized one off the back counter. Everybody's paints are good? All right. So for the sunset, you guys can follow along. I'm just gonna make sure my brushes are clean first. Pick out the bigger brush of the two, and we're gonna get this whole area wet, but make sure not to get the edge of the blue or whatever color you chose wet, because then those two would bleed into each other. So just get kind of like the inside of your space wet. We're not going for like a puddle, but definitely like a nice glossy sheen over everything. And again, don't touch the edge of your cloud area. Once you've got water evenly dispersed in your space, go ahead and grab your smaller brush. And we're going to start with yellow. And when you get the yellow paint, just a reminder from last time, the more you rub your pigment, the brighter your colors will be. So if you want a really bright sunset or sunrise, definitely rub that yellow at least 5 or 8 times. And we're gonna make a little, I'm gonna scoot this up so you guys can see in the back a little bit better. We're gonna make a sun, and it's gonna take up about the middle space of our paper. And if yours got a little bit bigger, that's fine. It may have like bled out a bunch. And it doesn't have to be a perfect arc. If yours got lopsided, that's okay. We're just focusing on blending our colors today. And hopefully painting's relaxing. Whoop! Oh, thanks, Jocelyn, it's okay. It was relaxing, then the phone, no. Yeah, hopefully painting class is relaxing, so try not to let this be stressful for you. If it is, let me know, and we'll try to see if we can reduce the stress. So after you've applied your yellow and it started to bleed, just let it bleed and do its thing. We're gonna grab the lighter of the two oranges. So there's a really dark orange that almost looks red, and then there's another orange that kind of looks like a creamsicle. Go ahead and get that lighter orange. And we're gonna go right outside the edge of your yellow. So not touching the yellow, but just kind of tracing the outside of it. And then you're going to move that orange in towards the yellow. Don't go all the way in on the yellow or else the orange will take over. If you got a lot of color like I did, clean your brush off. And then do one more or two more strokes, mixing that yellow and that orange. And then the water will just bleed those two colors together. I'm gonna give it a little bit more water to encourage it. As we're working on this, be mindful of how much water you have and how much pigment you have. And that's gonna help you mix your colors. Now we're gonna grab a red. You have two choices. There's a red that's more of like an orange color, and then there's a brighter red. Pick whichever one you want. You don't need to rub this one a lot because red's a pretty highly pigmented color. It's really bold. So you should just need to grab a little bit, and then again you're gonna go outside your orange. Make an arc with that red. And then you're gonna slowly bring the red in. You're not totally gonna overlap the orange, but just a little bit, so those two colors mix. If you need to grab a little bit more water and your paper's drying out, just put just the tip of your brush in to grab water. If you submerge it, you're probably gonna get too much. After the red, go ahead and clean your brush off. And now we're gonna pick out a purple. You have about 3 different purples to work with. There's a really dark purple, more of a true purple, I guess, or the Weaver State purple. And then there's a violet purple. Pick whichever one you want. And if you're not sure if it's purple or not, a good trick is to like put a little mark on your paper towel to see what it looks like. Or if you pull the color to the edge of the little paint holder there, you can sort of see what color it is a little bit better. And then you're gonna go right outside the red. At this point, my paper's pretty dry, so I'm just gonna grab a little bit of water, and that'll encourage the paint to move around some more so that it bleeds out. So if you're experiencing the same thing and your paper's dry, just grab a little bit of water, and then you can blend that out. You're gonna slightly overlap the red, but not too much, because we still wanna be able to see the red in our sunset. Let's say you had like an area that had way too much water like that, and it's starting to run away and mess up all your colors. Just use the technique we just did. Just dab that spot real quick, And then you can clean off your brush and just sort of go back in, move those colors around a little bit, and you should be okay. So that dabbing technique is also kind of a great eraser technique if you get watercolor where you don't want it. So another example would be, let's say we're painting, oh no, I just dripped on my paper, the whole thing's ruined. Not really, just dab it. And for the most part, if you get to it quick enough, you'll be able to lift that color off your paper. So good little trick to have up your sleeve. After the purple, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the dark blue, make an arc above that one as well. This is probably dried out, so you're gonna probably need a little bit of water. And then bring that down, mix it in with the purple just a little bit. And we still have about half a page. So what we can do is we're gonna start from the top with some black. And then we're also gonna add some dark purple into that, and then it'll sort of transition us into a night sky. If you want your sky darker, of course, grab more pigment and add it. If you want it to be more of a gray tone, sort of like dusk or dawn, then add more water to it. I'm gonna add a little bit of purple to mine, the darker one, just so it gives it a nice transition from night to sunset. Then once you get down to your blue, you can arc that blue into your night sky. And there you go. Now you have a sunset or sunrise. Everyone's gonna be different, and when they dry, they also look really different depending on how they dry out.